writing an A-plus essay sometimes feels like climbing Mount Everest, right? But what if I told you there's a simple, almost secret framework that can make it not just doable, but actually kind of straightforward? Well, let's dive in.
Oh, we've all been there. You're staring at that blinking cursor on a blank page, the deadline is breathing down your neck, and nothing. It's that classic analysis paralysis, where the sheer size of the task just freezes you in your tracks. But what if the problem isn't the essay itself? What if it's the way we've been taught to think about writing?
You know, for some reason, we've come to believe that smart writing has to sound complicated. There's this idea that to get a good grade, you need to use big, complex language. I call this the academic jargon trap. And honestly, instead of revealing simple truths, it just buries them.
Sound familiar? The academic world sometimes seems to love excessively convoluted lexicons, which is, ironically, a ridiculously complicated way of saying overly complicated words. It's meant to be intimidating, but really, it's just getting in the way.
And it's not just the words, it's the sentences too. Labyrinthine phraseology, sentences that twist and turn like a maze. It's a style that cares more about sounding impressive than actually being understood.
So let's just cut right through all of that noise. What does a convoluted lexicon really mean? Simple. It's using big words to hide small ideas. And once you see it that way, you realize it's actually a sign of weakness in an argument, not strength.
Okay, so if jargon is the problem, what's the solution? It's something way, way more powerful. Lucid argumentation. This is all about making your points so clear, so direct, and so well supported that nobody can deny them. It's about creating aha moments, not confusion.
I mean, look at the difference when you put them side by side. The jargon trap, it hides truth and creates confusion. A lucid argument, it reveals truth, creates clarity, and is genuinely powerful. One just sounds complex. The other is powerful. It's a no-brainer, right?
So how do we actually build these powerful, clear arguments? I'm going to give you a simple, effective blueprint you can use for every single paragraph you write. Seriously, it's called the CER formula.
CER stands for claim, evidence, and reasoning. It's a three-step structure that makes sure your arguments are always logical, always supported, and always hit home. Let's break down each piece.
First up, you've got the claim. This is the what of your argument. It's the one single, clear statement you're trying to prove in that paragraph. Think of it as your mission statement. For example, your claim might be, regular exercise significantly improves mental health. Simple, clear.
Okay, but you can't just say that. You have to prove it. That's where evidence comes in. This is the how. This is your proof, the cold hard facts, the data, the direct quotes, the specific examples that back up your claim. So for our exercise claim, your evidence might be a statistic from a major study showing a 30% reduction in anxiety for people who work out.
And finally, we have the most important step, reasoning. This is the why. This is the magic ingredient that connects your evidence back to your claim. You don't just drop a fact and walk away, you explain why it matters. So you'd explain why that statistic proves your point, maybe by saying, this reduction is likely due to the release of endorphins, which are known to improve mood. See, you connected all the dots. That's a bulletproof argument.
And you know what's cool? When you start using this CER formula for every paragraph, something amazing happens. That paralysis from the blank page, it just melts away. It's replaced by a sense of structure, of confidence, of power. Because now you have a roadmap for every single idea you want to share.
So let's recap the big takeaways here. First, ditch the jargon. Go for clarity. Second, remember that every single strong argument is built on claim, evidence, and reasoning. That simple structure is your key to an A-plus essay. And always remember this, writing clearly is writing powerfully. Which brings us right back to where we started. With the right blueprint, with the CER formula, that intimidating goal of writing a top-tier essay, well, it becomes not just manageable, but genuinely straightforward. Writing an A-plus essay is easy, actually.
So, I'll leave you with this question. Instead of seeing your next essay as a chore, think of it as an opportunity. Now that you're armed with the power of lucid argumentation, what simple, powerful truth are you going to uncover?